So, welcome back. Series 3, Phil. Fucking hell, are you excited?
Oh, absolutely buzzing.
It feels it. It feels it. First season as the Midlands Rugby Pod. Third season as having to podcast with you. It's aged me, mate. Not gonna lie.
Looks
Not,
like it.
yeah, looks rough. Looks rough. I've even got a soft focus on, so you can't see the wrinkles. So, Phil, what's been happening since we last spoke?
Well, we've had this fantastic new RFU league system that's really galvanised the Paviors guys. I mean, there's nothing like starting a league campaign knowing you've got a trip to Alnwick in December. So, yeah, we're in a new league. The whole level 5 is in a new system. Level 6 is in a new system. Level 4 is in a new system. So everyone's a bit all over the place. Nobody really knows anybody who they're playing against. So it's like starting anew. And it's not really a great start for Pavs, but we'll stick in there and try and see out the rest of the season. But the great news is that our twos are playing competitive rugby.
And we're playing fucking well, to be fair.
Yeah, and you snuck a win on Saturday against Cleethorpes.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think it's good for the club. We just need some more players, please.
Yeah, definitely, and hopefully we'll be able to see some old faces come back as well. But now Ben's looks like he's moving and he's not frozen or lagging or whatever. How are you doing? I know that question broke you a minute ago, but
I'm very well, thanks, mate. Yeah, all good. I've had a busy evening. I've just fitted a tap in the kitchen.
You do,
which is a new skill.
You do everything.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm adding plumbing to the list now, mate, as one of the trades that I offer in the local area. So, Bestwood Village, hit me up. I'll get going.
If anyone needs their pipes cleaning, just let Ben Taylor know if you're going his way.
Not a problem.
People might not know Ben. He played about 20 minutes and then pinged his hammy the next training session. So he's actually at Paz now. But Ben, do you want to walk us through where you've played around where you played and then where you played around the Midlands?
Yeah, sure. So I started playing rugby when I was about 8, I think. Went up to Wellingborough Rugby Club, again, just the closest club to where I was living. Generally, most of the clubs I've played for have been the nearest side to where I've lived. And went up to Wellingborough and I played there through age group up to Colts. We had a good Colts run. Played in the National Cup and stuff and had a good run in that. And then after Colts, I was sort of knocking on the door for the ones initially and then played thirds for a bit, then seconds. And then eventually, due to a knee injury of an old boy, I got my chance in the ones and played there for, I think, 2 or 3 seasons whilst I was at university. And then after that, I played a little bit of Warrington when I was in. And after I went down to Gloucestershire to work, and I started playing for Cirencester again because I was given the choice of a couple of clubs, and I was told Cirencester was the way to go for the closest good standard of rugby. So I nipped over there and played there for a season and a half, and then I moved to Fairford, another team in Gloucestershire, and played there for 3 or 4 seasons until moving up here, which I moved to Nottingham in July. So.
There we go. And the Fairford lads, we've never obviously met. You've obviously met them, but we haven't. They seem to sing your praises quite highly, which I'm yet to see evidence of, if I'm honest. They definitely.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of gas on the old social media, isn't there? Like before the games and stuff. I was thinking I better start backing it up, really. But
is it because people that live in Fairford don't know there's anything outside of Fairford? So you found Nottingham and they've gone, fucking hell, he's done it. He's free.
It's definitely quite a tight-knit community, Tom. I mean, that's how I would put it.
That's all right. Just know, Fairford lads, he is calling you inbred. With Fairford, like we just said, they obviously speak quite highly of you. What was it like moving down somewhere completely different to one of the places in the southwest to play?
I mean, moving down that way it was a hell of a change. Just generally, a lot quieter areas. A lot of it's a much sort of, I don't know, much nicer, friendlier place than Wellingborough can be at times, which is a thing to be said. And then, yeah, I mean, the rugby down there was good fun. I mean, obviously we were playing Gloss 1, not necessarily the highest standard of rugby, but some trips down to sort of Breams, a few Gloucester teams and stuff, and you play a varying brand of rugby against that lot. So there'd be a lot of just pick and go, short carry rugby, and then there'd be some teams that like to throw it about. And I think Fairford are in that brand. They definitely aim to play. When I was started playing from, the average age of the back line was about 21, 22. I was the senior bod in that, you know.
So what position were you playing at Fairford when you got there?
Well, Fairford, I got there and said I was a 9. And I'm a little bit tall for a 9, I guess. And they were sort of lacking in other areas. So they sort of put me at 12, I think, in the first game. And I played that first game at 12. And then I think they had an injury or an unavailability at scrum half, and they moved me across. And that was my go to have a go at scrum half. And then that was it. They realised, oh, yeah, he's a 9, because I was sort of hitting very timid lines at 12 and throwing speculative passes out the back, much like we're passing now, to be honest. But
it wasn't that you. Oh, he's a 9. They went, no, he's not a 12.
Yeah, I think it was more of a process of elimination in the back line for me than particularly me playing a specific position. But yeah, no, got in at 9, and they needed sort of barking around a little bit. We had a really good pack and a very talented back line when everyone was available. So it was more about making sure that we just the right areas and move the team around. So I guess I'm a 9, you know, I always have been. So it's much easier for my brain anyway to know where I'm running, just ruck to ruck, isn't
it? Yeah. I do think though, and Phil, you'll probably be able to talk to it a little bit better than me, but the Midlands itself, you know, where you think of some areas and there's certain areas have got a stereotype for being a certain brand of rugby, and it's always, you know, most of it's going to be scrappy do and stuff. But Midlands, I feel like, has got quite a wide variation. You will go some places where it is a dogfight, and in other places you are running width to width in defence and in attack.
Yeah, I think so. I think the problem with the Midlands is it just get kind of like, because we're in the middle, that's the name, we kind of get sort of like a merge of each. So you think the southeast play supposedly Flasfo in rugby, and the northwest play mongrel bish bosh. But I think, yeah, you kind of get like the mix down here. And even, you know, in some teams got the capability to do both as well.
Yeah.
Like you look at, you know, when we played Bourneville the year they got promoted, you know, they could, when it was wet and horrible, they just went up front and beat the crap out of people. And when it was dry or they played at their 4G, they'd play it around and trick it around. So I think coaching in the Midlands is actually some of the best in the country, because you've got blokes who have done both styles. Yeah, I think the Midlands League is probably one of the stronger leagues. Like the one we played in last year, probably one of the stronger leagues, just due to the sort of the mixed potential of the players.
Yeah, and there's also, I know we like to think rugby's moving away from the private school life, but there's also quite a few good rugby schools around the Midlands as well, which are teaching various brands of rugby.
Yeah, I mean, you got like Warwick, who've always been up there and thereabouts. You've got Bedford, whatever they're called. Is it Bedford Modern
School? It's just Bedford School, isn't it?
It's Bedford Modern, I think, or something weird like that. Yeah, they've really pushed the rugby, and they were, when I last saw them play a few years ago, they were playing some nice stuff. And I think we just got a real positive attitude to rugby in the region. So sadly, the county teams don't do so well, but that can't be helped.
No.
Well, there's prem teams everywhere now as well, isn't there? Because you've got obviously the Wasps moving up to the Rico in Coventry.
Yeah,
Wasps, the last few years.
Saints.
Is their academy base still down?
No, the Wasp Academy is up in Coventry as well. Yeah.
So yeah, more academy setups, and those Leicester and Saints ones have always been pretty strong academies, haven't they?
Yeah.
For producing players.
And then you got Worcester, obviously, as well, not too far away. Well,
Yeah.
had Worcester. I don't know whether they're still.
Just about.
Being on a shoestring, yeah.
Yeah. Bit like my
lots of land, apparently, so they'll be fine, won't they?
They have got loads of land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phenomenal amount of pitches around that ground.
Yeah. But there's also quite a good few champion like Nat 1, Nat 2 teams around the mids as well, isn't there? Which massively helps boosting because you get our mate Jack gets to go up, have a go at Jack Taylor, and then will do his time there and pass on what he's learned elsewhere, I imagine. Right, I'm bored of chatting rugby. I'm not an Oz. I reached out to the thousands of fans that we have of the new branded Midlands Rugby podcast on Spotify, Apple, and all that shit. That's what they do. 2 questions I want to bring up. First one is one that we can all talk to. So someone pinged in, I can tell you here in a minute while I find it, talking about a tour that you went to. Danny Briggs,
that'll be my old coach at Fairford, yeah.
Your old coach at Fairford. Dendermonde, any good? Good fun?
I didn't go to Dendermonde.
Well, Danny,
that's a shocker, isn't it?
Great coach. Shit at realising he's there and he's not. But what's your best?
Well, the irony is obviously a tour led me up this way, didn't it? Really.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. That's a better question. How did rugby?
We get into that.
How did rugby lead to you getting with a member of the Doxbridge Trent University clan?
Yeah. So. Was originally planned again, so those guys had such a good time. Clearly, that they didn't remember that I was there or I wasn't. That they rebooked it, and during COVID, it got cancelled. So the lads were sort of pining for a trip away and a tour. And once things started to get back going again, they arranged just a weekend stay in Nottingham in the middle of the summer. So I think it was like August time, and they'd no rugby obviously at that point. They couldn't get any fixtures or anything, so we booked the 100. So it was a classic rugby tour with no rugby. But we put the 100 at Trent Bridge. So we watched the Trent Rockets on the Friday night. It was a messy bus trip up. I did like a naked spider up the bus, which I wasn't too proud of, but it seemed to go down really well. And
4-legged spider.
Yeah, it was my tour debut as well. So I had to sing my song on the way up, which was it went down well.
What was it? You clearly want to tell us.
I don't think it would be sensible to reveal it, you see, because I'm sure something like that might come across at Pavs. And you don't reveal all your tricks there, but it's a classic.
You've got tricks? Jesus. Okay.
On a bus, yeah, the lads up there vouch for that. That's that spider that I was talking about. And then, yeah, so we rocked up in Nottingham, did the first night at the cricket, and then Saturday daytime, we go out on a smash all day. I think we went to like Rock City in the evening. I had a handlebar tash and like some dodgy aviators on all night, so obviously I was hot property in the town.
Fucking more like
yeah, exactly. And then we like bolted into NG1 because we were looking for somewhere else to go at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and that's when I met my partner Katie. So yeah, that was how that happened. And yeah.
Before everyone who's from Nottingham knows what NG1 is, it's definitely Casey and not Kieran.
No, it's definitely yeah. Yeah, you were out of us the other week, weren't you, Tom? Kieran's a good friend. You know, it was definitely Casey, so it's all good. And yeah, what was I going to say? In the morning after, I got a text from Danny Briggs, actually, the gent that's text in there, basically saying, "I've ordered you a breakfast. Court's in like 10 minutes. Are you going to be there?" And I'd obviously woken up not really knowing where I was, so I was thinking, yeah, no problem. So I got into the Uber, and I think I missed court by about 15 minutes, which didn't go down too well. But I had my full English, so it's all good. And
you had your full serving earlier that morning.
No comment. No comment. Well, it worked.
That's a classic As a classic awkward Tom.
Going. I know we kind of pitched this a little bit locker room chatting. Realise I actually know her quite, and I don't really want to upset her. It's fine. I'm not going to cut it out. Phil, we've all heard stories of some of your mates that went walkies on a tour. Are you still not willing to reveal who them people are?
I mean, I don't think that's my place to be revealing people, is it? But no, there's been some good ones.
Yeah.
We've had someone on here that did one of the great night out disappearances on a tour, and didn't realise that we were leaving at 9:00 the next morning. That was quite a good one, and he has been on this podcast or a previous podcast that we did.
No place.
Yeah, so there's been some good ones. Other ones where, again, we've been maybe ejected from our facility of dwelling significantly a lot earlier than we should have been. And someone was not in that place and had to meet us at the Tesco that we all went to, having been escorted out. So yeah, there's been a few. Can't say I've done it myself, but yeah, it's part of the course, really, isn't it, on a tour?
It is. You've always got to have that one bloke that takes it for the team. So well done, Ben. Proud of you for that one. Another question was from Paviors Rugby Football Club's very own Matt Molyneux. He wants to know why you're putting on a Gloucester accent when you've only been there a few years.
Oh God, I think it's hard not to do it. I mean, especially around the Fairford way, all the lads are always on each other like, "You right, Bav? You right, Baver?"
Yeah,
and it sticks really quickly.
Before you went, had you come across the phrase "Gert Lush" before you got there?
No, yeah, but then we were saying that all the time. I mean, I'd never heard of it before. Gert Lush.
Gert Lush. It sounds terrible.
Spot on.
It sounds terrible,
classic as well.
It's one of the highest compliments you can get from a Southwesterner.
Yeah, like if you're eating a really good bacon sandwich, you might hear a Gert Lush that, and yeah. Yeah, no.
I just looked where Fairford is. I didn't know where Fairford was. It looks
miles away.
Isolated would be the way I'd describe it.
It's in the in the southwest.
Yeah, so like all of our games in Gloucester were pretty much everyone's longest travel. So they'd all be bus trips. So it'd be like it wouldn't be a long bus trip for them, only from Gloucester or Bristol, but it would be 45 minutes an hour for them. But it'd be their like big day for the season for their away bus trip. So they'd jump on the bus, come down to us, and to be fair, last season handed us a few times and then got back on the bus and went home. Fairford's a really small setup. It's just the pitch is town council owned. They're definitely a club punching well above their weight. Do you know what I mean? Town council ground, and we socialise at the cricket club, which is down the road. So we have to navigate people after they play at ours to head down through the town and go up to the cricket club. But they're sort of like there's a real positive thing that comes from that. Everyone enjoys it, and everyone knows everyone, and it's a great laugh. Everyone has such a good time with one another. And people like really. Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's probably, I don't know, it's not quite half a mile. That's definitely a stretch. But in terms of driving, it's a drive back to go to the cricket club. You could just wander through, but you're not going to make those guys when they come on the bus or they've all driven over. They all drive over, have a bit of grub with us, and then get on their way.
Oh yeah, I found the rugby club. Yeah. Oh right, okay, yeah, that is.
It's a journey.
So that's a weird setup.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Oh, sorry, I just got distracted there. I didn't even know where Fairford was. I thought I'd have a look.
Yeah, and then obviously we're travelling to a lot of clubs that have been established for you guys are going into your centenary year this year, aren't you? And like a lot of those clubs we played against have been around for that long, quite established rugby clubs. Stroud and Cirencester were in our league, and yeah, there was a few, Dursley, and these clubs have been around for a long time, and they've got quite good setups, sort of. So for sure, there's those hindrances, but Fairford definitely play a good level for it, which is great, and they put themselves about and try hard. It's great.
Yeah, no, they do seem like a good set of lads, and if they want to come back to Notts, I'm sure we can actually get if they want a game of rugby.
Yeah, no.
So if you've not been to Dendermonde, though, does that mean that's where we've got to go next?
Well, Dendermonde do those tour packages, don't they? So it's the full event, isn't it, out there for the weekend?
Oh, maybe.
Is that the Belgian place?
Yeah, it's Belgium. Yeah,
where...
and everyone gets the bus trips out, and it's all beer tokens and everything out there.
Yeah, because we had someone who played there, didn't we? We had
obviously Sam Hossain for Dendermonde. He's now Valencia or something like that, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right. He played out there for a few years.
Yeah. They do like it's like a festival set up and everything there. So there's like live music and gigs in the evening, and it's a whole package tour. I don't know. There's other sports on as well, but like Bruce Rihanna was playing in the year that Dendermonde went in against them in the sort of Fairford Vets team, and it was just great. The stories from that tour. I bet there's some lads in that rugby team that can tell some stuff. I've heard a bit of it, but I won't relay anything. But it's all them, isn't it?
One, if we ever meet up with them, we get them to pass it on. I'm still fully back in to now MRP Sevens team down to Bournemouth Sevens. I'll take the fat fuckers rugby team, Phil, and you can take people that actually give a shit. And then
I think I should probably be in the fat fuckers one, to be fair.
Yeah, now, mate. Sorry, Ben. You can take the those that give a shit, and we'll see.
Seven stuff.
I know. What a dream that would be to be able to have imagine a whole weekend away from your kids, Phil.
Oh no, don't tease me.
I feel like after speaking to a few people from different clubs this season, so already, well, Newark and Cleethorpes, people who are kind of the other side of 30, to us young whippersnappers, only play rugby to get away from the kids. Still only now still play because it's like it's a day off. Is that what you?
I don't know what you're trying to do to people here, but you're revealing secrets that don't need to be revealed.
That's the dark arts of social rugby, isn't it?
I've not named anyone, have I? I didn't. George Billam told me not to tell anyone. Right? So
just that we were talking about the other day, Phil, weren't we? About the sort of rugby club on a Sunday being a free crash for adults, essentially. To let the kids run wild into the woods and do whatever they like, and then we'll come and grab and take them home a few hours later once we've had our fun.
I love going up on a Sunday. My kids absolutely adore being up there on a Sunday, just because it's just a free for all. People just coming and going constantly, and then the other day I took them up there, literally planning to be up there for a few hours while Ruth went for a run, and we stayed there for 6 hours. And I got home at like 4:30, having been there since 10. So I was just like, they love it, but for some reason Saturday doesn't seem to be such a draw for them.
No. We've only got probably 5 minutes, because what I didn't realise is at the end of last season of PavsPod, I cancelled the subscription for Zoom. So we've only got 4 minutes left. But a question I'd like to ask you, Ben, what are you, and we're not going to go down the old route of what's your favourite rugby moment, what excites you most about playing in and around the Midlands and mostly north?
Or the northeast.
I was going to say those long bus trips to start off with, but we've got a few treks, haven't we? I'd say I'd definitely say coming back up to play in these sort of Midlands Northeast League that we're in is a standard jump for me, which is the main priority about moving to the area. I mean, luckily, Pavs is my local club. It's the nearest one to me, I think, or the quickest one I can get to. But for me, it was about, I'm 27, so it was about playing sort of the best level or most workable high level that I could play for a few seasons before, you start to cack in a little bit and your knee starts to go and you can't do it anymore. So that was the most important thing to me. And it's nice to be back this way, I guess. And and play, like you say, those varying brands of rugby, and not really knowing what you're going to expect every weekend. It's interesting and fun, isn't it? So it's a challenge. It's something to look forward to. It's much like the league that we've been put in. It's the unknown's a good thing. You know, it's going to make a team that's building together better, isn't it? So, yeah.
It was actually quite a good answer to that. Quite shocked by that.
Yeah. It's quite profound, wasn't it?
It was quite profound. I don't really know where to go with that. Phil, you got anything?
No, he's absolutely stumped us there. I guess
we had all of our lot on last 2 seasons, and we've been like trying to get something slightly intelligent out of the bastards for 2 years, and he turns up 5 minutes later, just comes out like he's some form of like prophet.
Yeah,
there is one thing to be said for Ben. He is by far and away the fittest bloke that's turned up to the club for a long time, irritatingly so. For those who are listening on Spotify, he meant fitness because he's not the fittest bloke at Pavs. I am.
That's our scope.
I'm a good-looking lad.
You are now.
I mean, I'm going to take the fucking compliment.
If we're taking improvements, you're up there, mate. Yeah.
But Ben, you are right. Phil is right. You've turned up and you've already fitted in straight away. So it's a pleasure for us to have you. And from what I can hear, from what I can read from other teams you played for, you were definitely a bit of a beacon for them as well. So we appreciate you, Javier, and I'm hoping that you kind of make some bit of a path for yourself in the Midlands rugby scene, which would be good. Because obviously we refer everything back to the Midlands now because of the name change.
Yeah,
yes,
we've
of course.
called it the Midlands, haven't we? And then we've been putting the fucking Northeast.
Let's do all the branding for the Midland Rugby podcast. Yeah, where's Billingham based, Tom? Fuck knows. Don't care. I'm not going. I think that's
Anik edition.
Yeah, that's a live pod from Anik. That's on the 17th of December. They must have a trailer park we can all stay in up there. Anyway, we don't know who we're going to have on next week. We were hoping to be a bit more prepared this year. We took 4 months off to think about the podcast, and we've done fuck all. But Ben, thanks for coming on, mate.
No problem at all. No, it's a pleasure.
It's been good to work out where in your house is the best Wi-Fi spot. So that's good.
Yeah, sorry that took so long. I should have worked a bit harder to sort it out before I got on the phone with you lads. But
That's right. And thanks for coming on, like I said, and we will catch up with you soon. But Phil, we are going to still end this every same way. You've got less than a minute. Have you got any wise words?
No, I'll work on something next week.
Beautiful. Right. Thank you very much, then, boys. And we will see you all next week.
cheers.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.